All right, ArcSight. So I usually get these ArcSight positions. I haven't been doing ArcSight in a pretty long time. My last position, actually, I would do it every now and then. So because I list that on my resume, I still get some people asking me if I want to do ArcSight positions all over the United States, and in some cases other countries. ArcSight, ArcSight, if you didn't know, is a SIEM. It is a security event information management system. It basically collects logs from all throughout an organization, and it puts them in a readable format that you can use to determine if your network is being compromised. If you have a denial of service attack, you have a man in the middle attack. You can correlate different logs while looking at it in one place on one monitor to figure out what's going on with all the activities within your organization. It's pretty cool. Like, then their competition, ArcSight's competition, is Splunk, but there's also many other SIEMs that are out there. QRadar, I think, is another one. There's several other ones that are out there that they pay pretty good, because there's not a lot of people who do this to do this on a regular basis. Okay, before we get into this job, you should know that I don't have anything in regards to like training on SIEMs. If you'd be interested in something like that, let me know as far as courses. But you never know. I mean, I may do one, like maybe I'll have a buddy write one for me. I don't feel like I'm in a position where I could write a really effective course on it. Maybe I'll have one of my friends create a course and then put that on the site. ConvoCourses.com. Go ahead and check that out. Roles, responsibilities. Okay, role is a ArcSight engineer. That's exactly what I used to do. And this is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's for a full-time position. That's pretty good. And if you're interested, I will have, if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, I will put the description below. The contact information below. But let's get into this one. Job description: minimum of 8 years of experience in information security, information security experience, out of which the individual has worked in management and administering ArcSight infrastructure for a minimum of a 3-year period. So they're looking for lots of information security. And the reason why that's important is because when you're looking at all that stuff coming through a SIEM, you have to be able to figure out, okay, this IP is an internal IP. It's going to this. It's coming from this external IP. This shouldn't be happening, because you already have an idea of what the best practices are for your organization, and that's why you have to be a cybersecurity person to do ArcSight, because you have to be able to interpret all the flow of data that's coming in and out of your network. That's why they're looking for 8 years experience and at least 3 years of ArcSight experience. Okay, experience in the operations of a large ArcSight event management system, because there's many different implementations of ArcSight. You've got, if you've just been working in small businesses or small organizations, or maybe a small bank or something like that, you guys happen to have ArcSight or Splunk or whatever, you might only have 30 nodes. You might only have 30 nodes in your environment where it's sending information, audit logs to your event logs, and it is pretty light. Like, the flow is manageable. So the difference between that and a large organization that has thousands of nodes sending hundreds of thousands of audit logs to the ArcSight system is night and day. It's not even the same at all. So they're looking for somebody with experience in a large organization. Participate in the intake process to assess and determine the data volume, capacity, and requirements. And see, that's why it's night and day, because when you have a large environment, you're dealing with data volume, capacity requirements, and all kinds of stuff comes up, just because there's so much data that's coming into the system. Work with other project teams to understand requirements, effort estimations, design and develop policies, perform upgrades on the ArcSight components, including the managers, databases, connectors, and various appliances. So this is looking like a very large organization that they're working with, and they don't really go into details about it, which is good. You'd have to contact them and get more information on that. But yeah, ArcSight engineers do the upgrade of the back end system. They might have to go to a whole different kind of ArcSight system, a whole different type of database. Sometimes they have to work with a SAN system that's dumping all the database into this huge storage network. Review and interpret events generated by various components, appliances, databases, and operating systems. So in a large environment, you're going to be getting logs from Linux, Unix databases, Microsoft system servers, workstations, all these different components, and even internet working devices such as Cisco, Juniper, Palo Alto. Everything in your environment is sending all these logs to your SIEM system. So you're having to interpret all these things, and that's why it's really important to have some experience with as an information security person in a large environment. All right, they're looking at Logger. Logger is a different type of system on the ArcSight. In ArcSight, there's a manager, ESMs, and then there's loggers. Then you've got appliances, ConApps. You've got software versions of it, hardware versions. It's been a while, so I'm kind of rusty on the ArcSight stuff. Let me see here. What else? All right, I'm trying to look for stuff that testing and integration of ArcSight provided connectors. So a big part of ArcSight in large environments is the connectors that are actually connectors are the device that is collecting the information from the server, from the Linux server, or from the Windows server, or wherever, and it's grabbing that information and then sending it to the ESM, to the people who are watching. You, I guess, would in this position, you would be the person looking at those logs, and then you would have to figure out what that data is. But the connectors is something you might have to set up, is what they're saying here, to test and integrate on the connectors. Let me see. Develop. This is a big one with ArcSight. Develop ArcSight content, including rules, reports, and dashboards. So the big thing about ArcSight is that I've noticed whenever they look for people who are ArcSight, they're looking for ArcSight professionals. They want you to be able to develop content. And what that means is you have to be able to not only correlate the information, but set up like it's not a program, but it's like a if-then statement. If I see somebody attempting to, if I see this set of IPs from outside of my network attempting to log in 100 times in 1 second, then create this report, stuff like that. So if this happens, create this. And so ArcSight can do that. It can actually create a report, and then it can actually send that report to you or send it to someone else. And that's just like a very simplified way, because there's many things you can do with it. You can have it look at firewall data, and then if this happens on the firewall data, then go to the IPS and see if that has correlated information, compare those two things, and then if it compares those two things, send it to a rule that has an active list, and then use that active list to generate a report and put it on the dashboard or something. Like, there's so many different things that you can do. But content development, that's what that means. ArcSight content developers are people who can actually look at the data, make a rule set, and have ArcSight perform some sort of action. Okay, I think that's it. I will put all the contact information below here. But if you're interested in this job, the number is 408-668-9448.